everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening,
Yes.
Prerna. Good evening, Gaurav.
Yes.
Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
And good morning, Prernaji and Gauraji.
Thank you
so much.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. So we have started this recording. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. Can you see my screen? And right now you must be visible on the screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So welcome. And we are at the final day of week 3. And this is going to be almost finalization of Agile and Scrum. And we are getting transition towards the BA track. But before we get into the BA track and finish today's, what I'm going to announce is that coming week will be full of the workshop. Even if you are the one who have completed the workshop, remember that it is very, very important. The more you get engaged through the workshop, more you will get the idea about the Agile and Scrum. So let me ask you this thing. Are you guys up to play full on in the coming workshops?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Gaurav.
And who is not?
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah.
By the time I unmute myself, it was too late.
Okay, no worries. So here we are done with till last session. DOD. DOD was definition of what? Definition
Done.
of what?
Done. Definition of done.
Excellent. Definition of done. So we were done with definition of done. We have time. What I want you to do is this. I want you to quickly shout out one word what you remember from last lesson related to definition of done, and then we'll get into what you have done. Yeah, please go ahead and share.
Definition of done can happen in many stages. It can start with sprint planning, then to sprint backlog, then to end of the review. So at all the stages, definition of done happens by the end of that stage.
Okay, there will be a slight tweak required. So who is going to add? So Priyanka?
Yeah, Gaurav. So definition of done can only be accomplished after the DevOps teams. It's mainly the responsibility of the DevOps teams when they have, done with the coding and they are ready with the final product, the working software. Also, it has to meet certain criterias like, they are compatible with, governance and basically the goal and also the tiny details, and they have to go in sync with the product owner as well as a DevOps team to give the definition of done that yes, it's ready.
Okay, Dipti. So Dipti, can you unmute yourself and speak up? So we will come back to Dipti later. So I think she was talking on mute. So Priya, definition of done.
When the product backlog item is done, that's when the definition of done is coming into place.
Okay.
And it ensures transparency, and it basically gives like a demo of what's been done.
Okay, great. So Dipti, are you up to answer? Whether we are audible to you?
Hello.
Yeah, Dipti.
Okay. Sorry, I was not able to hear you guys. I was trying to connect again. Can you please ask the question one more time?
Understanding on definition of done we covered last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
DOD.
Yeah, DOD. So what were your takeaway on DOD?
Okay. So I think that when your product is done, when your sprint is done, and when it's ready to release to the customer, then it's like when everything is done, then you said that it's a DOD.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for answer. Let me add something. So DOD is considered for various things. DOD is considered for user story, activity, task, or even your epic. Why? Because every single thing is what? Every single thing is a ticket. And just before it gets towards the DevOps for the release, because that time you need to know that it is shippable or releasable. Okay, so when this term shippable comes in your mind, then just before it, you can mark that as a done. So every single thing has to be checked, and then it has to be marked as a done. We had given you a checklist. Okay, so I think you need to go back and listen to the last recording again, so that it gets sink in towards your brain. Okay, and you are
Yes, you're right.
so get into that at the deeper level. So
Yes.
yeah, so coming back to this, so let me ask you again, are you guys watching or listening to Strangest Secret of the World, that is Earl Nightingale? Why I'm asking you? Because this is very, very important. It rewires your brain towards the success. Are you listening daily?
Yes,
Yes,
it is
I'm
very
doing that.
motivational as well.
Yeah, it could be motivational, you may find, but its message is very crisp, very narrowed, and it is giving you the action plan, how exactly every day you need to live it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's number one. Number two is this, that if you think that you are a complete positive person, and still if you miss that, Earl Nightingale has said one wonderful thing, that you may mess this up for a day or two only because you are highly influenced through negative thought, and that you even don't realize. If you're taking the commitment to listen to it thrice a day or at least once a day, okay, it means you are vibrating towards positivity at the highest speed. And Agile Scrum only needs what, positive mindset, because you are trending towards the solution, you are bringing your project towards the solution. Okay, so just take a note of it. This was very subtle message, and this was the reflection of each and every viewer who are daily listening to it. Okay, so that was the message I wanted to give, and get into the further learning. What you are going to learn today? So you are going to learn today mainly about product backlog management, self-organizing, and cross-functional team. What are they? So I would invite Prerna ji to take this up, product backlog management. And before that, you want to just share some context. So Prerna ji, back to you.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you for that quick recap of TOD. And let us all get started on this very interesting topic for today. That is product backlog management. Can I just quickly ask a simple question? What bell does it ring in your mind when we say product backlog management? Just plain these simple three English words. What do you feel? What it should be all about? Anybody and everybody, please.
Plan execution.
Sorry.
Plan execution.
Plan execution of product backlog, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Of the product.
Of the product. Okay.
Of the visualized product.
Okay. Okay. Let's revisit that. Okay, fine. Somebody else? I just want to have your views on that. Yes.
Yeah, it's basically, in my opinion, the user needs which are planned for execution. The user or the client's needs, which are broken down, and then we plan on it.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Somebody else, please.
Prerna, what I thought that
time management.
sorry, Priya, go ahead, Priya.
Yeah, she asked for a word that comes to mind, so I mean, time management came into my mind. You go ahead, Deepti.
Okay.
Prerna, what I thought that
yes, I'm done.
Sorry. Hello.
No, please go ahead, Deepti. Please
go ahead. So what I thought that I will say that, can we take a different example?
Voice is cracking.
So for example, if we take...
No, it is cracking.
I don't know.
No, it is
Oh, it is.
breaking up. Yeah, it's
Just
breaking
it's
up.
cracking.
Oh, so
Yes,
sorry.
yes, please repeat. Yeah,
Okay.
it's better now.
So
Please
what I
repeat.
thought, if you take example of a checklist, okay, so you're just gonna make sure that what else is done and what else is left and how we are going to work on that. So
Wow.
that
Wow.
changed my mind when you said
That was
plan.
actually hit on the head pretty well. Yes. Who is left? I think everybody's done. Dipti, Bobby, Priya, Priyanka. Rahul is not there today. Okay.
I think Rahul.
No, but Rahul is not there today, I feel. Okay, so to be very honest, everybody is right. But just to set the context, right now, whatever we are talking about is exclusively for product backlog. So what Bobby ji had mentioned, what Priyanka had mentioned, all those pointers with respect to product backlog. Yes, checking the priorities, checking the customer deliveries with respect to backlog, right? So here the main hero of the entire scene or situation is product backlog. We will be thinking from that point of view, because product backlog for us is like Gita, Quran, or Bible. We have to keep revisiting it. We have to keep checking it, like Dipti rightly mentioned. And when we say about management, the word itself is very self-explanatory, as in you have to manage that thing. So imagine if we have a full-fledged topic on this, so how crucial it would be. Gauraji, would you please go on the next slide?
Yeah,
So
sure.
here I want, thank you so much. Yeah. So here I just want all of you to kind of have this in your mind, or kind of note it somewhere, that tomorrow, even you may start to work as a product owner, as a Scrum master, as a Scrum team member, or as a other stakeholder, whatever your role may be, as a BA, or being in a cross functional team. Always remember that product backlog management is one of the most essential task feature of overall agile development, because product backlog has to be well maintained at any point of time. Generally, product owner is the one who is responsible for it, but that doesn't, or rather he's the owner of it, he owns it, but that doesn't mean he's the only one taking care of it. He, along with the help of entire team, taking into consideration everything, manages this product backlog. Now you see, this is a very nice iceberg. Whenever I see this, I do not know why, but in my mind, Titanic movie
Titanic.
comes in. Yes. Yes. So that's how I remember this. So okay, you have to always map the diagrams with some images, or some memory with the images, so it's very good for recalling. So
It
instead
looks
of
like
remembering
it
Leo,
looks like a
yes, it looks like that iceberg where the Titanic hit. So instead of reminiscing your teenage or younger days and going back to Kate and Leo, we will be focusing on product backlog. Yes. So this is how this is how my entire MCA studies have done, to be very honest, because that's the easiest way. So what topic was it, and see, it's very easy when you know the iceberg: high priority, low priority, up and down. And low priority will be the future pointers that will come in, and high priority would be the current iteration and release. Trust me, it is so easy when you actually compare it with an iceberg. So what we are looking at. We're looking at the current situation given the highest priority, and we are looking at future changes as the upcoming one, which will come later, which are still below the what do I say, surface, I would. So it is really very interesting, as well as it is really very crucial. So as a product owner, you are responsible to continuously review it and continuously ensure that it is maintained, as in it is not something like the checklist we make on 1st January of every year, that I'll go for whatever 5 miles run, I'll eat healthy, I'll do this and that, and then you forget. Absolutely not. This is the thing that you live on. This is the thing that you work on. So the only thing of giving so many example is we have to understand the importance of it. Okay, so and then what is a product backlog? As we all pretty much know, product backlog comprises of all the uh, features, all the action items, all the artifacts which we have to work on, and they have to be mentioned in a very clear, simple to understand, without any jargons and technical specific wordings. I'll explain what all these means, and then these are the items which are definitely to be worked upon by developers, and then there the working in current sprint, the completion of particular work items in current sprint defines how your next sprint will look like, or what will be your take on the next sprint. So you get my point. That's what I'm trying to say. And when I said clear without too many technical jargons, means if there is a particular user story, or there's a particular artifact, or a functionality mentioned, that has to be so simple to understand that any to an extent a layman should also know what functionality is required. That doesn't mean you write in a very kiddish or childish manner. That simply means you write in such a way that it is clear, there are no confusions. So many a times in actual professional world, we have come across some people have a habit of writing in jargons, using heavy words, that simply leads to confusion and non-clarity of what was to be done, and which is very hazardous, which is very difficult to manage in such environment, because we work on daily deliveries, everybody's assigned tasks. So understanding what is given in that uh, product backlog, what is mentioned, is very, very essential. It has to be very clear. If you are writing, we have to add a customer, and below are the 10 fields that is to be added, like name, first name, last name, age, whatever, Aadhaar card or social security number, whatever. So these has to be clearly defined. There should not be any confusion in that. So am I good on this? Anybody has any doubts? Why the requirement has to be clear, and how do we look at this eyes work, wherein we always give highest importance to the current iteration and current release, and this is how we go. So anybody has any doubts, please ask.
Hello,
The forum
Prerna
is
ji.
open. Hey, hi Rahul. I think you joined just now.
Yeah, a few minutes ago. Sorry about that.
Not an issue. Please go ahead. Yes.
From my own experience, I have seen that in other projects.
Mhm.
Let's say if the developers are not yet, familiar with the technologies, I have seen sometimes, especially in my case, a GSA project, the SME steps in, the subject matter expert steps in and gives the initial estimates, or suggest the estimates of stories to the developers, and 95% of times developers agree to the estimates.
Okay.
So you think that's a good practice, or the developers should be told to assign, even though in that project, the developers know themselves that they don't have much knowledge of the, that application and technologies, and they have a big learning curve to meet first.
Okay, so Rahul, I have few takes on this. There is no hard and fast one answer to this. Right, as you rightly mentioned, that the developers are kind of like newbies in this technology. They have their own learning curve. They are not aware of the technology much. Okay, so there are two aspects of this. In this situation, SME, being the subject matter expert, will play an important role of deciding of the timelines. But then timelines with respect to only requirements wouldn't work. It should also consider the learning curve and the time that would be invested in by resources into their learning, because whenever there's a new technology, new scripting, new framework is introduced, developers do take their own time to first play with it, to understand the working, how it results in, and all that. So being in agile mode, I'm not saying they'll be dedicatedly doing that, but if they do not have the hands-on practice, if they do not have that expertise, they will definitely take a little more time than how a normal experienced or expert developer would work on, right? So to answer your question, in particular scenario where the developers are not expert or not too experienced, SME giving timelines works, but then it works only when the decision is taken into conjunction with their learning or adapting speed. That is one. Second situation where the technology that the team is working on is very regular, or it's very typical, or they're experienced or they're experts in it. They have had a very good exposure on it, they have worked on it for a decent amount of time. So that time, rather they would also initiate, or they would also work out the plan, and then after talking with SMEs, SME can be a product owner, scrum master. In your case, I think that's a product owner, because you being the scrum master, they can work it out and add some little buffer here and there as required and share it. So as an agile, as a practice, it has to be a team effort. It's not that SME would say, okay, you will take 2 days to complete this functionality, the same functionality, add user. And if that has to be developed in new framework, there's a new scripting to be done, some function and some more challenging work which is not yet it's worked upon, or which the developer doesn't have any experience, that might be a tough job. He might be able to complete it, but then there is a might situation, he might require some more time. There might be some validation issues, there might be some things he could miss, right? So to answer your question in one line, any decision taken for timelines have to be in consideration with all. That also includes development team. And I'm talking about the best practices. Okay, I'm being upfront and honest. So not everybody does or do follow them, but it is supposed to be that way. So now if your team is like, okay, SME knows everything, SME is the best, SME has exposure, and they accept and they actually implement it, then it's good for them. But in certain scenario, if they are not that much comfortable with the technology, so it can actually fire back, that they might not able to finish the task in given time period, or they might get delayed on their schedule. So this is the way things should or would actually work in real life. What do you feel? What is happening in your scenario, just for that actual industry experience? What is happening with your team when the SME gives the timelines?
Yeah, I mean, few of them, 2 or 3 of them are more experienced, so
Mhm.
they
So they
give
pick
their
up fast.
they give their feedback. So the other developers, they what he does is he's very nice. Actually, the product owner is not the SME. The SME is a consultant himself. As I told you last time, he has 25 years of experience at
Okay.
GSA. So when he gives his estimate, mostly people accept. But what he does is knowing the fact that they are new, he kind of puts in some buffer, as you told me right now. And
Yes.
rather than, like, for example, first story point, he'll say second story point. Our third sprint, instead of first sprint, he'll say second sprint. So he delays the time, he gives them more time. So
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That really reminds me of many examples, that when I started into this management journey of mine, wherein what happens, developers see, even in agile or other scenario, we first it's a normal practice where even an SME knows how much time it will be, the particular task will take. This is for everybody, right? This is not only for specific to Rahul's case. So normally, your lead or your project manager would ask a developer, right? And then they are also aware how much time this task might take. For example, same example, add user. So for them, it might take a day and a half because they're expert their work. But then for developer, they'll assume it's a day to 2.5 days or 3 days of effort. If we are talking about days, hours, it can be 8 hours, 16 hours, 24 hours, whatever. So a developer will definitely have his own buffer. Okay. So instead of 2 days, he'll say, I'll take around 2.5 days, keeping half day as a buffer in for whatever reason. So when it comes to maybe the team lead might add additional half day or 4 hours to it, stating there might be some, code check or reviews to be done from my end. Okay. So when that goes from the lead to the project manager will add actually rather half or more day, stating, there might be some issues in deployments, or there might be some issues when the code is collaborated or whatever. So try to understand each level there is a decent amount of buffer to be added before it reaches to the customer. That doesn't mean you will get that much of time. No, if you're committed 2.5 days as a developer, your TL will be after you once that time period is over. But then remember, I'm telling this everybody from the management point of view, because tomorrow you might start as a project manager, you might start as a scrum master or product owner. While when you commit or when you deliver to the when you plan the delivery and you commit to the customer, you do have a decent amount of buffer. The buffer can be for any reasons, any known, unknown, seen, unseen reasons. There can be some network failure, there can be some hardware issue, there can be some health issues with any of this team members, anything. So it's a very good practice, but then the buffer has to be realistic. Okay, it's not that there's a task of 2 days and you're saying 20 days. No, even the client knows that because they've been working with so many other companies as well. So this is just an add-on, I would say, GAN or practical knowledge which we have come across in real life scenarios. I will just request Gauraji if he has something interesting to add on this.
Thanks, Prernaji. So how many of you got the conversation first? Let me ask all of you. Bobby, you are on mute.
Sorry, I'm sorry. My first question is, who is the SME?
Okay, so SMA is nothing but a subject matter expert. Did it give you clarity a bit about SME? Subject matter expert is the one who is really expert in the knowledge of functionality, how things work. Who do you think should be SME?
Product owner.
Okay. Any other answer,
along
guys?
with the stakeholders.
Okay. Any other answer, guys? It could be anyone. It could be BA, QA, product owner. Yeah, Priyanka, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would think a BA.
Yeah, go ahead, Priya. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had a lie. Yeah, I would think it's a BA, Gauraji. Or a
Okay.
project manager.
Okay. And what you were saying, Priyanka?
Yeah, the SME, I think, is generally client facing, and he's the one the client facing basically,
Right.
who explains everything towards the
Correct.
the other development team. Yeah.
Correct. So SME could be anyone, but generally expected from whom? As Priyanka said, it's also a client facing person. Everyone is client facing, sometimes QA, BA, or product manager as well. But it is expected a BA to be SME. Okay. Business analyst. He must be knowing in and out. Okay. And let me go in detail and ask you, how many of you got the conversation? So you did not understand what the SME was, but if you did not understand, were you able to go into the detail of the conversation, Bobby?
Yes. I did understand that.
Okay, great.
Because all the technicians, all the developers are not expert skilled. There must be a few developers who will be like first timers like us when we'll start our journey as a professional. So they need to give the cover so that the newcomer can get the breathing space and do not get hyper. That's what I understood.
Okay, so can you help me to know and remind me what was the question asked by Rahul? Rahul does not have to answer. Bobby.
The question was, it was all about adjustment and the time box. Question was related to the time box.
Okay.
So how the time box can be extended?
Okay, thank you for your answer. So any other answer? Dipti, would you like to add something?
Is left. Yeah.
What?
Yes,
Repeat,
Prerna
please.
said that there's always. Hello. Prerna said that there is always a buffer
Mm-hmm.
is given to the developers, where they can learn if they have to learn a new technology to develop that product.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, uh, we talked about the buffer time also in that.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever Bobby
Just
said
to interrupt,
along.
sorry. There is not always buffer. I said in ideal situation, if somebody is new to the technology and situation, they should be given. Now, given or not, it depends on the how tight the timelines are. But as even Rahul said, in his scenario, 2, 3 developers are experts, or they are able to deliver on time. But if some developers or some team members are new to the technology, to the framework, they might take more time. So in the ideal situation, they should be given some buffer, and generally it is given, but it's not always. If there is a strict timeline, it is tough, but still before committing to the customer, yes, there is a decent amount of buffer, which even as a developer, they might not be aware of.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Right.
Prerna ji,
Thank
I
you,
have a
Prerna.
question. Like, how long can they usually take
Yes,
to
yes.
learn or get used to the new technology?
That absolutely depends on what kind of complexity the task has, and complex or how depth the learning part. So it, matlab, I tend to go example is that if you're making a course and you want to cover that, learning that, making that so
Pre-
tough, and
Prerna ji,
the
sorry to interrupt. You are
salary or
breaking.
maybe
Are
a
you breaking for
Yeah, she's
me?
breaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
Prerna ji.
breaking.
Yes,
So
for
let
us.
me
Yes,
take
Yeah.
that up.
you're
Let me
breaking.
take that up. Yeah, you are breaking, Prerna ji. So yeah, Priya,
please go ahead.
let me add my experiential example. How long it may take to learn any technology. If you learn how to learn, it may give you maximum or minimum 3 days to learn any technology, and maximum 7 to 10 days to become expert in that technology, provided you know how to learn. Okay.
Okay,
And
yeah, yeah. Okay.
this tip I have already given, I think previously as well, when we started business analysis track along with you, and I have given this tip to Rahul many times. By the way, let me come back to the original thing, to the Dipti, could you help me to understand the question which was asked by Rahul? Dipti. Yeah.
Yeah, Gaurav, I honestly do not remember exact words
Okay.
what
Thank
he
you. Thank you for
asked.
being honest. Yeah.
So
Thank you
yeah,
for being honest.
sorry about that.
Appreciate. That's okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, Priya, coming back to you, could you please help me to understand what was the question asked by
Yeah,
Rahul?
yeah, I too don't remember the exact sentence, but he asked about the timeline, like who
Timeline.
decides, or if the developer decides the
Okay.
timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answer, Priyanka. Please help me to understand what was the question asked by Rahul.
Yeah, Gaurav. I think what Rahul asked was that in a scenario when the developer is new and he's not able to perform the task because he is new, sometimes the SMEs, they get involved and they are the ones directly in touch with the developers and guiding them regarding the process and the technology. So that scenario, is it common, or is there any other practices that can be done in that situation?
Yeah, thank you for your answer and being to the point, and thank you so much everyone for your attempt to give me the answer. To add something, because Prerna ji had asked me, so we are going to learn everything on in the coming day. That is mostly on Monday, about estimation, planning, and timelining. Okay, and for these all things, we are going to cover that. If you are fresh, you are experienced, how you are going to give the give the estimates. So when we are calling out as estimate, what does it come in your mind? Quickly, anyone can answer.
Timeline.
Timeline. And estimate means it has not to
Estimate
Cost,
be
also.
cost,
cost.
maybe
Okay,
the.
fine. But estimate resembles to timeline, and it does not have to be accurate, exact. Buffer has to be there. Okay, you can't predict some unexpected, right? And that's why 1.5 times generally it is practiced to add the buffer. Going back to the slide and sharing with you all, if you can see the PPT, just shout yes together.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
so Prerna ji, are we done with this slide, the iceberg one? Then if you want, then I can move to the another one.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah, it was just an add-on question that I
Okay.
had taken up
No,
from,
no
yes.
worries.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead if you wish to. Otherwise, I can continue.
Okay, okay, fine. So what I'll do, I'll take this up because you were just breaking. So just check the internet little bit, and
Okay.
next slide you can.
Is it
So
okay now? Is
yeah,
it
much better,
okay now?
much better, much better. So please take it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, yes, sure, sure. Not an issue.
no
So
worries.
this is with the continuation of what we were discussing, and I'm really sorry I did not ask that. That did you guys get it, the example? My bad. But nevertheless, good that Goroji asked that question and everybody could share their queries. So here on, if you feel anything, you understand particular technology terminology, if you don't understand, please ask me. Everyone is welcome for that. So going ahead with product backlog, what is a product backlog? What do you mean by product backlog? So we all know many examples we had. We started with a bread loaf, then we went to checklist, then we even thought about bookshelf, or So this kind of images, please have in your mind when you correlate with the product backlog, that you have a ladder kind of situation or a picture in your mind. And it simply means there are all these functional requirements, tasks to be performed or artifacts to be implemented, and all those are generally managed by the product owner. And it simply means, if you want to work on something, if the client needs something to be developed, it has to be a part of product backlog. If it is not mentioned in the product backlog, it simply doesn't exist. As in, you as a development team, as a developer, you're not even aware that you have to work on something unless it is there. So it's simply that, if you want to work on a particular task, it has to be mentioned in that product backlog. If it is not part of the product backlog, that can never be achieved. It's as simple as that, right? It's simple like how you have your own checklist. When you go to shopping or you want to get some work done, you have to write something and get it ticked. If you don't write something, you simply miss it. That's the way I work during my office hours. I have my checklist for an entire day, and that adds to the entire week's checklist later. So simply, and then product backlog is never complete. Okay. And product backlog is dynamic. Dynamic and never complete are two both correlated and very interesting wordings to be used for. I'll start with dynamic. Dynamic means with every sprint review, with every customer, review and feedback sessions, your product backlog keeps changing. I think we did talk about this in the last session where we said that whenever we have any review, customers say, oh no, we want this color, or we wanted this functionality like this, oh our priorities have changed. Like taking up the example of add user, after add user I normally go for update, delete, uh, for example, if I'm adding a user in the system, very simple example, I'm adding per se this your team into our Guru Schools database, for example. So my first thing will be add add your names and details, and educational background and stuff like that. Second thing will be, I should give you the edit functionality. Like if today somebody is doing masters or PhD, they are working on it, and tomorrow if you pass that, so your educational qualification will change, right? Maybe from masters to PhD, from bachelor's to masters. So for that, edit option has to be there. Okay. So this is a simple example, this is a simple hierarchy which we have to be followed. But then if tomorrow we are like, okay, no, we don't have to work on that, we have to first work on creating their biodata in the system, and that is like a new field. So the point of giving the example was, if you're working on something, and as per earlier client discussion, and then tomorrow in the latest review or in the latest meeting with the customer saying, right now do not work on this functionality, we want some other functionality to be developed first. That simply means they are prioritizing over something, over the earlier decided priority. So your sprint planning, in the current next sprint planning or the current sprint also, you discuss that, your product person discusses that with the entire team, scrum master and the team, and they say, hey, the customer wants this to be developed first, and we work on that. So this is the dynamic side of it, things can go up and down. You can take some functionality which was planned for next sprint, which you work on that. There might be some requirements that might not be long, no, needed by customer. It doesn't happen that often, but yes, if there is some change in requirement, some of the tasks might get deleted. In the similar context, some of the work can be added extra. Like earlier we had planned for, okay, I'm adding this users or this members to the Guru School database, and I wanted to update and delete and that functionality to be used. But now I'm working on creating their biodata. So the biodata might have more functionalities like their in detail experience, work experience, their education experience, their background, a professional background, if any. So things like that. So here you can simply means, when I have reduced one functionality of edit, but then I'm adding functionality of creating their biodata or creating their resume for that matter. So similar fashion, your product backlog also keeps changing depending on the customer intervention and customer review. And second thing, which is also interesting, is product backlog is never complete. It means it is ever evolving. Just imagine that Titanic wala iceberg example. It's always piling up, though you're working on it, but it's always building up also. Though you finish 5 tasks in this sprint, but as per the customer review or as per the understanding, there might be some more tasks, so it will keep adding unless your entire product is deliver. Project, product, web application, whatever you're working on, it is ever evolving, it is ever building itself. You finish 5 items, there might be 10 left, but then there might be 2 more added, so you again back to 12. Then you finish maybe 5 more, again you come back to per se 7, but the client again adds some items. So every sprint it's a new learning. There is constantly some progression. There's some constantly some functionalities to be added, updated, moved up the hierarchy, change the priority. So it's simple like your everyday work schedule, where you know what you're supposed to be work on, what was your priority. But then as per the other work, per se, you had a day when you planned, okay, now today I'll arrange my office, my whatever bookshelf, or today I'll arrange my cupboard, my wardrobe. But then if you have guests coming in, so all these things takes a back seat, and you're focused on, I need to cook, I need to plan meal for them, I need to manage the home, like that. It's a very simple day-to-day example. That's why I want you guys to correlate. So if you're working on particular functionality, but then the client says no, I want something else, then definitely you work on that, because the client had asked for the other part, on the priority. So again, open, the forum is open for you. Do you have any doubts, or whenever I said dynamic, complete, were you able to correlate, or can you just give me a one liner about what this slide is talking about? Please, everybody, we can start.
Prerna, what I thought, it's like a to-do list,
Mhm.
the product backlog,
Yes,
that you
yes,
keep adding the things into that, and it's like a
yes. You
never
keep
ending, right?
adding
I
things.
mean, you prioritize.
Sometimes, very rarely, you do subtract. Subtract as in modify. There is no deletion as such. There is a modification. Okay, not this way, that
Mhm.
way. Yes, but it is ever evolving and dynamic. Yes, that is with that construct. Yes, please go ahead.
Right, right.
Okay,
No,
take
that's what
somebody
I thought.
else's
It's like
name.
a to-do list, and then you
Yes.
prioritize the thing that in this week I have to finish these 3 things, no matter what. And then
Mhm,
these 6 things could be I can do that after 2 days or something like that.
mhm,
So
yes.
I think it's like a to-do list. And I'm gonna call
Yes.
Rahul.
Yes, Rahul. Rahul must be aware. Rahul is actually working on this.
Yes.
Rahul, you can add your own experience to this if you wish to. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you have given a good point. It's never complete and it's dynamic. Sometimes my main experience has been that a lot of times the items have been reprioritized. That is where we have to, you know, really change our then method, our change our
Yes.
strategy, because so
And going
that is
forward, you will see, Rahul, that's a pretty normal scenario of deprioritizing or changing the priorities or changing the order of the deliveries. It's not that anything is absolutely removed from the product backlog. It's simply that as per the client requirements or their current needs or current ask, the priority of the delivery changes, or no, the functionality which has to be changes. Though we have our sprint plan, we have the things in place what we need to work on, but then definitely that customer requirements or customer ask is considered and it is changed accordingly. So then as your work schedule changes, your product backlog also changes, right?
right. Right. Can I ask you one thing? Can you tell me like what is the basic difference between never complete and it's dynamic? I just and give an example.
Okay. No,
Same
not an
thing like
issue.
agile and
See,
flexible. I still didn't get that, but I'm gonna.
okay. Never complete simply means till you deliver till the complete products per se. If you have maybe 10 sprint or 12 sprint of 15 2 weeks, so it's like around 3 months, not
3 months.
3 yeah, 6 months, right? So till you come to the end of the 6th month and you finish everything, till the time your product backlog is not complete, as in it is not completely exhausted until you check the final requirement or artifact that it is done. So till your final delivery, it is never complete because you're working on it. There are things pending, there are things piling up, or there are things mentioned to be worked upon. That is the meaning by never complete. And dynamic as its own nature, that it keeps changing. Today, that you only mentioned that, yes, Prerna, we did come across this situation where we had to change the priority, when we had to change the delivery time, or if something was maybe planned for next week, next month sprint, that we had to take in this sprint because of the customer ask, right? So this is the dynamic nature of it. It keeps changing. It is not static, like, okay, this is the 10 points, will work from, like, how you scale it. It's a 10 task, start from 1, go to 10. No, you can be on third or fourth task, but if the customer asks, hey, I want the 10 tasks to be delivered now, and then after the discussion internally and with your seniors, if that is feasible and if that is the ask, you work on it. So that is the dynamic side of it. There is no predefined rules that we have to go by the books. If the customer says and if it is feasible, then definitely we go ahead with that. Did I answer your question? Are you?
Yeah. So you are saying that product backlog can be complete once you are done, let's say, with the product launch, and in 4 sprints you
Yes,
complete the whole product. Then it
yes,
is complete.
yes. Till the time how it is complete. If you're, see, I can, as a product owner, I can say it's complete only when I launch or I deliver the product, entire product, not the bits and chunks, not the modules. Till the time I have something in my store, right? So that means it is not
Entire
completed
product.
yet.
Yeah, entire product.
Yes, entire product, as in your project is over. When your project is over, then you don't have anything in that checklist or in the backlog, because you are done with it. You're delivered it, right? It's a simple like that. Yes.
Our education
And
completes when we die. Yeah.
I had a very funny example to give, but I don't know if I could. It's simply that it's, on a lighter note, without any just on a lighter note. So it's like you're pregnant for 9 months and then you become a mother, so that you're not pregnant anymore. So just like you had a backlog, but then you launch the project. So I'm sorry, I know
Yes.
it might sound funny, but it is, because
Yeah,
we
it
you
makes
actually
more
this
sense now, Prerna,
it makes more
actually.
sense. Yeah, because there are we kind of use this kind of situation to give example, like you might have seen some memes or jokes when people say that a lady would give birth in 9 months, but the expectation of project managers or the higher management is you hire 9 ladies and deliver the baby in 1 month. So this is the typical meme that we always have, and we even crack jokes upon. So I just thought to take that further and stating that if you're in that process of working on something, definitely it's a to do thing, it's WIP. But when you deliver that thing, when it is completed, then yes, the product backlog is no more incomplete. It is done and dusted, I would say. It's completely exhausted, it's completely finished, and you have delivered that. So yes, Gaurav ji, you have something to add on this, or we can go to
Yeah,
the next
quickly you
slide?
cover that, and this was about if product exists. Okay, it means the
Mm-hmm.
changes are there. Okay, dynamic means
Yes,
will keep changing. So be
yes.
excited the moment you find that yeah, product still exists. You can expect more changes and more money.
Yes.
Okay.
So your billing is going on. You are very
Yeah.
much allotted to a project. You're very much working, and the company is making money. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
जिसको
Here we.
हिंदी जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं जब तक मीटर डाउन है वी आर हैप्पी.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Meter down. Hindi में नहीं, वो universal language में ही है. Is the meter running? Yes, that's the everybody's important question. Perfect.
Yeah.
You got it
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Yes, here you go. What is product backlog? More in detail about
Yes.
prioritizing, estimating, and creating and refining. Yeah, Prerna, you can continue. Just
Yes. See, again, very interesting diagram, So here you say that different, some little creepy or funny hands, but then they're having different chores. One way you're prior, I think we talked enough about it, but just a quick brush up on this. As we mentioned, as with respect to Rahul's question, I was answering that as per the customer ask or customer review in every sprint, you do deprioritize or prioritize the task. So that is one. So whenever you change the priority or change the task, obviously your time estimation will also change. I would like to go back to a very simple example. If I wanted to arrange my wardrobe and I had given per se 2 hours of my time to it, but then if I have my guests coming in and I have to create a simple, sorry, proper meal and all that, cleaning of the house, it is going to take more than 4 hours, maybe 2 hours for cleaning and 2 hours for cooking. So if you change your task, it's simple in your day-to-day life also, professional work also. If you have to read and reply to a mail, it might take 10-15 minutes after knowing the background or after knowing the context. But then if you are asked to send a report of some sort, some annual report or monthly report, review reports, budgeting reports, anything. In my scenario, there are so many budget things going on. It is just not that I can just share an attachment. No, there's a very deep thought goes in. Okay, what was the context, what is the amounts given, what is the time period looking at, what are the details provided. So when you work on a report, you would take your own sweet time to understand, analyze, prepare, get it reviewed, and then share. So it simply means if your task is changing, if your work item is changing, your time estimate is definitely gonna get affected, and it does change. Okay, so that estimation comes in, and creating and refining. Yes, so many a times what happens, I was saying in this, I would like to continue with a simple example. If the guests are coming and I'm kind of cleaning the house, so indirectly my bookshelf is also getting clean. So one of my tasks is getting done automatically on my what was on my personal agenda earlier. So in simple manner, what happens many a times when a requirement is redefined or prioritized, some of the other small requirements are also getting attached to it, and some of your work is getting done. So that means your product backlog is getting changed, or it's getting refined, or it's getting updated. So you have to keep doing that. So in simple means, if I have to say earlier example which I gave when I wanted all of you guys to be added in Guru Schools database, and I added your name details and uh, whatever address details. And then when I wanted to create a resume or a bio data of yours, and that time I was taking address details. Oh, and then those address details are useful for your personal page also, when wherever I was having your name and educational details and all. So sometimes these things happens, the because of the additional tasks, your some of the earlier small tasks are also completed, so that works for you, right? It's like bolte na ek tir mein do nishane kind of, you just complete some additional work along with that hours. So yes, that simply means you have to check that earlier small task also, and you have to redefine or recheck or shuffle your backlog. So it goes with many things, especially with women. I do a lot of multitasking. So I make sure if I have a call or a meeting where my inputs are not required, I'm just an audience. I keep that call on mute. The earphones are on in plugged in, but then I am cooking. Trust me, I do that. So that way, that simply means along with that meeting, my time is I'm utilizing my time for my personal task also. But then if there is a meeting where I'm on presentation mode, I'm delivering something, I'm sharing my total 100%, inputs are required, then yes, I'm there. Then there is no distraction. I'm completely there. I'm on my laptop. I'm sitting at one place and I'm totally focusing. So it's simple like that. If you get some task which you can bind or join with some other task and get it finished, so it simply means how well you manage it and how well you manage the requests coming in, and what are the necessary items which you want to release in this particular sprint. And then product backlog breaks down requests into series of tasks for development team, and it's an essential component to guide your agile development team. So this is again with respect to what Rahul was mentioned, rather pretty good question, Rahul, that you earlier asked, so we could relate to that. When he said that SME, the subject matter expert, allots them the work or assigns them the timeline. So here also, if you have any task or any bigger chunk of work, your lead or product owner is expected to break it down and explain and as well as assign to your team, definitely after considering their technical background or their expertise level. So product backlog breakdowns the request. So there's one bigger task which is broken down into smaller tasks, and then the assignment happens. So this is what simply means, how you prioritize, how you estimate the timelines or the delivery dates, and how you refine or create your ever changing product backlog. See, I'm just trying to correlate this concept with your day-to-day work schedule or your daily life example. So whenever you think of it during an interview, maybe during an actual work scenario, you should be able to understand, okay, what am I thinking? It's not only about the theory part of it or concept part of it, but when you are able to correlate with your day-to-day life, I think everything becomes very easy, and we are able to think it on a very wider note, or in a very exhaustive way, like, okay, what I can do. Okay, product backlog is like this. It keeps changing, like how I keep managing my office work. There's so many new tasks coming in. So try to understand whenever we talk about so many examples, why those are important, and how is their correlation with this topic. So yes, if anybody has any doubts, please ask, and then even Gauravji can also add if he wishes to. Please go ahead. Any doubts in estimating or refining? Yes.
Yeah, Prerna. There's this one doubt, like going back to the slide. So as we discussed in the product backlog side, that it's never complete, and it's only complete when the project is done, and it's a dynamic nature. So
Right.
here, like, just picturizing this, the different hands which are shown here, prioritizing, estimating, creating, and refining. So are these the different, like when you talk about updating the backlog or changing the functionality, so are we talking about, are the different stakeholders involved in this, or it is just the product owner who takes the input from the stakeholders and does that job?
Okay, rather a very good question, first of all. See, from ownership point of view, product owner is supposed to and assigned to do this job, but then he doesn't work in isolation. Whenever he has any new or changed requirement, there is a formal team meeting. He does talk it out with your Scrum Master and development team, because unless he shares with the team and take their feedback or output, okay, you're already working on this 10 tasks, but the customer wants additional 10 tasks to be delivered, how we have managed that. So all the stakeholders are involved, but the final action is taken by the product owner. That is the answer. So he will not just go to and talk to customer and he'll just come and silently update the product backlog. No, he will talk, he will discuss, he'll take the inputs, and then accordingly he himself only will update the backlog.
Okay.
Does it
Thank you so
answer your
much.
question,
Yes,
Priyanka?
it does. Thank you.
Yes, welcome. Anybody else, please?
I'm
Estimating,
good. Thank you.
redefining.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Gaurav, would you like to add something to this, or else we can go to the next slide? Your
We'll
call.
go to the next slide. And while we are transitioning, let me tell you that estimation part is coming into the detail. So yeah, you will learn more about that. So this is for product owners on product backlog management. So Prerna ji, do you want me to take this up?
Yeah, if you wish,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Okay. So these are the bullet points, and you should remember. I know that we have reached to the point where you are bubbling up with the question like last time Priyanka asked, that how do we calculate the user stories? So those things are coming on your way. So hold your patience back, and we are getting ahead there. So especially for product owner, because he is responsible. And when with Prerna ji, we were talking about product backlog refinement and all. Remember, this is also called as backlog grooming part. Okay, and this exactly happens just before sprint planning, not exactly during the planning, but exact before the planning. Okay, and when you are a product owner, you are responsible for this backlog management to maximize the value of the product. Okay, here you define the priority. Okay, and priority is very, very important, because you are breaking down every single bigger part, every bigger single thing. So am I still connected with you guys? Let me quickly get one yes. Anyone?
Yes,
Am I?
please. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
You.
Gaurav ji.
Okay, so yeah, so everything is getting broken up and into smaller piece. So it may be possible that one user story. So let me ask you this thing: when I am talking about user story, not the question, but a confirmation from your end, that do you remember that any epic is the bigger part of a project, and epic can be also treated as a project in itself, and every epic is further broken down into user story. Every single user story can be considered in a project itself. Means that should be the intent, and every single user story can be further broken down into improvement activities, tasks, and so on. And every single activity and task can be treated as a project in itself. And when you will treat that as a project in itself, you can add more value to that smaller piece of a bigger part. So have you ever sensed, when we were we were talking about this, subtracting the addition. The subtracting the addition means addition is the bigger project to your work. And when we are talking about subtracting means breaking down the bigger part into the chunks. Are you with me so far? Were you
Yes.
able to get that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for answer. So it's a single source of truth, right? Product backlog, which keeps on refining, okay, which contains all the work to be done on the product, and it keeps on piling up. And you will have to make some choices about what to build first, because I was talking about the priority, and that's what exactly happens in the sprint planning meeting. And you also decide what we can take later. Okay, But what to build and what not to build has to be decided, because here you are also defining what scope. Scope is the key feature which has to be considered first, because you cannot end up giving something which was not required at that point of time, and you are aware that why some feature has not to be included and discarded or to be included. Because at the point of time, if you are a QA or BA or product owner, you can give such kind of information, because this was not the part of scope, and that's why you won't be able to see such kind of responses you can deliver towards the vendor, to not vendor, to the stakeholder or client. Okay, so this thing you have to take care of, that you are finalizing the scope first, and the tool to manage the product and gain predictability is the backlog. So backlog in itself is something which is to do, as Dipti earlier mentioned very well. So it keeps on growing, and if it keeps on growing, you won't have the control, and if you don't have the control, the value will diminish, right? So always you need to keep in mind as a product owner, that it has not to be unreasonably long. And here is the hack and a tip for you, that when you are breaking down an epic into user story, remember that one user story cannot be greater than half of the sprint duration itself. Okay, so if you are going as a scrum master or product owner, you should be keeping this in mind. So any single user story cannot be greater than the half of the sprint duration itself. So that's all about in this slide. However, this is the very interesting picture I wanted to bring in front of you. Okay, so this is talking about, once again, the different picture. In the Scrum, we keep on practicing the product backlog. Okay, so while we are talking about this is a very natural question which may keep on coming, which I just took in the earlier question as well. Every single thing is in the form of what? Ticket. Can you see this? This looks like ticket, and we call it as a ticket in IT. So sometime we call it as a user story as well. Means we don't formally call it as a ticket, but we simply say, can you just tell me ticket number? When even if we are referring to user story or epic or task, subtask or feature or improvement, or to a bug issue or anything, we simply, when communicate, we say, hey, can you just share the ticket number, please? Okay, so this is how it gets communicated. So you see, the pile get prioritized, the piles of the requirement. Okay, that is sitting inside the product backlog items, so which is also called as PBI, gets transferred and transitioned in the sprint backlog during the sprint planning, where you decide the duration, you decide the various story point when the agile points up. So there we started giving the Fibonacci number. Okay, what is Fibonacci number? Generally, I believe you guys must be knowing. So can I get some answer? What is Fibonacci number?
A sequence, kind of sequence.
Okay, just give me a quick example if you know that how it starts and goes on.
Like in ascending order, it starts with the lowest number and proceeds to the higher. Yeah.
Any other addition to Bobby? Quickly, guys. We are getting into the detail, and that's why I thought it's better to ask right now. Yeah, Priya, you and
it's like adding numbers like in a sequence.
Yeah. Priya, you just complete. Prerna, you were breaking, so once Priya complete, will
I think it's following a pattern. Like from what I remember, I think it's adding numbers in a pattern.
And from where it start? Fibonacci number, from where it start? Without googling, you can answer.
You mean the number from which number it starts?
Yeah.
I think 1.
Okay. Who else?
I'm
No, Bobby,
presuming.
Bobby. No, not now. So you have answered already. So Rahul, please unmute yourself and quickly share your answer. I assume that you might have not Googled. You might be knowing already. Yeah, Rahul.
Fibonacci, it's a sequence of numbers, and there's a
Sta-
pattern, like it's 1, I think 2, 3, 5, 9, and then it keeps on increasing.
So why randomly it keeps on growing
It's
quickly?
not, no, it's not random. There is a way. Every number, I think it's every number, it gets added more as you go on more.
So how it gets
They-
added? I mean, I'm just wondering how it gets
No,
added.
it's behind a Fibonacci, algorithm. It's a Fibonacci was a.
So it will.
I
Uh,
know. Can I say? I
No,
haven't
no,
Googled yet.
Prerna ji, and please, I know that you can answer us. So yeah, let students share that.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah, Rahul,
sure.
please. So how it grows?
It grows exponentially because it depends upon, there is a Fibonacci, it depends upon this.
No.
Don't
Don't give me the theory part of it. Don't share the philosophy. Just share that how it grows. What exactly gets added inside, and it increases the number next.
I think you add is gets twice. I mean, I guess 1, 2, 3, 5, if I'm not wrong, 9, 13, 21.
No.
So-
You missed something in between. So yeah, Priyanka or Dipti.
Gaurav,
it's
I don't
according
know.
to the
I don't know.
ticket.
Thank you for being honest, Priyanka. Yeah, Dipti, please. You were trying.
I think it's according to the ticket that
Okay.
to complete that ticket, how many days it will require, and
Okay.
according to that, it keeps.
Thank you so
adding.
much for all of your attempts, and somewhere you were tried really well. So clap for you for the attempt. It was super awesome. Prerna ji, back to you. And then once if you explained, and if I feel like adding something, I would. So Prerna ji, back to you.
Now I'm really worried.
Okay, no worries. So can I
Okay.
complete it?
No. I just feel it starts with 0, and
Yeah.
it is the sequence of adding the earlier number, precedent, and the current number. So
Exactly.
0, then 0, 1 would give 1. When 1 plus 1 would give 2. 2 plus 1 would give 3. 3 plus 2 would give 5. So that is the way
Yes.
it expands.
Yeah.
That
So
was the
it's
basic I could remember. Yes.
correct. So it starts with 0, and then further moves further towards the 1, and then again it repeats to 1, and when it repeats to 1, it goes to 2, and then 3, and from here on, the current number will add the previous one, and that's how it progresses further. 1, 2, 3, 5.
I just had Gauravji just missed one number though, just 9. So I had 5, 9, 13. Mostly I was right.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, rightly said. So this is how you give a point, and point is nothing but a reference towards the priority and complexity to a user story. Okay, and always remember, when you are estimating and giving the complexity or user story point, it does not have to cross the 21. Okay, the moment it crosses the 21 means your 3 weeks. So the moment it crosses the 21, you have to take care of that. Again, how can I bring it down towards the 8? So consider that the moment it crosses 21, bring your intent towards bringing it down towards the 8 user story point. And when 8 we are calling, so it should be the maximum user story point. Okay, and it is defining the priority. And when you are defining a priority to one user story point, you can give a reference to the highest one or the lowest one to talk about the next user story. And then you can ask your team members or developers or dev lead or BA or BA lead to give a story point to one user story. So it has not much impact because it is a number. It has impact on the priority. Okay. So, but ultimately what happens, it gives you a push to get towards the poker planning. Poker planning is a way of planning. We will be learning for the poker planning as well in the coming day, in the mostly on Monday. Okay, there are number of number of or types of estimation technique through which we plan our delivery or a sprint. Okay, so yeah, so that's what this product backlog slide gave me in my mind, all about user story point calculation. And somewhat did I answer you, Priyanka?
Oh, it was my question yesterday. Sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
Gaurav. Yes.
Okay, your question was also there.
Yeah. I wanted to know how you use the story, because I was trying to read the literature, and they said there's certain number the user story cannot the total number of user story cannot exceed in a sprint. So that's the reason I wanted to ask.
Okay, so did it bring bit clarity to you?
Yes, bit clarity, but I still need to.
Yeah, so
Without wasting your time, I got a clue, and now I know how to understand it.
Great. You have got the torch to see the path, and on next day we will be more closer to the destination. Yeah. So my tongue was really dancing today and stuck up in the many words. So Prernaji, would you like to add something?
Yes. Thank you for asking. I was just about to intervene. The very important point that I did not discuss and you rightly brought up was scope. Okay, so when we talked about product backlog can be dynamic, can never be complete, and this and that, it's ever evolving, ever changing. The customer is giving requirement. Absolutely fine, but we have something to stick to. Like, when we say you can roam the world, you can do anything, but just don't forget your roots. So going back to your roots, that simply means considering and knowing your scope. Okay, in my personal experience, customers tend to go haphazard and ask for things which were not included in the earlier scope or which were not even discussed, and they simply bravely and with the audacity to ask that we want to get this work, no, we need this. But then as a team, as a product owner, and as a agile methodology, and any development track you're following, the very essential part is we have to remember what was our scope. Because scope, knowing the scope means we had in the initial during the initial discussions, we had discussed on some things that this is the purview, or this is the I'll just say boundary that we will be working within, and we are not supposed to cross that. Because changing the scope results in variety of things that can be extending delivery timelines, requiring additional resources, requiring different technology experts which might not be available with you, adding to more cost. You might need some software, some additional licenses, some additional functionality which you have to buy online, like some specific maps and specific graphs, stuff like that. So all these things need to be bought, maybe from Google, from Microsoft, any other vendor which you are looking at. So sticking to your scope and knowing your scope is very essential whenever we talk about adding or changing requirements. So whenever in real life scenario you are in discussion with your customers, as a product owner, as a scrum master, even as a team member, we all should be very well aware of what was the scope that we had given to be worked within, and which any requirement comes pertaining to that, we are all very welcome to go ahead. But then if you think if it is breaching the scope, it is outside the scope, then yes, that has to be highlighted. And I think we have discussed this. How that goes is like, maybe if it is a one-on-one discussion with the client of a particular team member, then he will reach out to Scrum Master and product owner and share. If there is a review meeting and something comes up from customer side, then definitely that can be addressed, stating, it is definitely doable, but it was not discussed during the scope, so we'll have to give additional time to it for its understanding, the involvement of resources, cost, timeline. So it's not that you don't work upon it, but even if you have to take it up, we have to be very clear in telling the customer, or making them aware that all these things will result in additional cost, additional time, additional changes in your timelines of the current deliverables. So yes, thank you so much, Gauravji, for adding this very essential s- word or very essential topic of scope whenever we talk about deliveries. So are
Yes.
we guys good? If you have any doubts about scope, what is scope, why not in scope, please do ask, because it's very important to understand at this point of time when we talk about product backlog.
Yeah, I have one question, Prernaji. So is
Yes.
there, I mean, are there real life scenarios where, from your personal experience, where the scope has changed over time?
Yes, rather than saying scope have changed, I'll say scope has increased, because earlier, that's the reason, that's the example I was trying to give. I'll give you a real life example. There is a website for Bank of America, sorry, Bank of India AXA. So the website name is boiaxa.mf.com, which I was working on. And then therein, because it's obviously financial sector mutual fund website, they wanted to have some graphs of how their funds are doing and stuff like that, and we were all okay with it. We had given them design, it was all fine, but then the components they wanted in a particular graph, like they wanted every on a mouse over, the amount should change, the color should change, the look and feel should change. So that was not a part of the earlier scope, right? So when we had given them timelines and the cost estimations of a plain graph, you understand a graph, right? When you have
Yes.
in those monetary
Yes,
websites,
yes.
all those. So we had the earlier discussion had freezed on a very simple graph with simple, maybe external pointers, nothing much functionality in the graph. But then they ended up having, no, we want this interactive, we want this as to be show this with mouse over, when we click on that the value should pop up, this many things is related to it. And then I was a product manager that time, and then it certainly involved the cost of buying that particular graph, and then include that in our application. So all this require cost. So we had to have a separate meeting. We have to tell them, okay, understand what is your requirement is, but earlier scope was this, and now you're asking for this. So it is definitely doable, but it will take more time, and definitely it will add to the cost of it, because we'll have to subscribe to, I think we went for Google Charts or something. I don't remember. It's an old project, around 3-4 years back. And we, so we had to get the license, we had to implement it, we had to test it or whatever. So we did that. I think if the license, if it is still there, the page is still same. You guys would be able to see it. But then we definitely charged for it, and we also got an additional timeline for it. And then it was in discussion that because we are working on this, the other tasks or timelines will be definitely pushed. We don't call it a delay, because there's a delay from our end, right? Because of the customer requirement, they wanted something on priority, other timelines changed. So there's a difference when you say delayed or pushed. You just simply say the
Right,
timelines have
right.
been changed, and yes, the cost is incurred by the customer, and the timelines are also accepted by them. Then only you plunge into it, because see, this kind of licenses, it was earlier a small company, so for them, spending few thousands of dollars or also a decent amount, right? So you don't take the decision on your own. They have to be communicated up the ladder, and during the discussion with the customers, and that everything goes well, they are okay with the additional payment, then yes, you definitely implement. So like that, things happen in real life scenario, if you ask me. Yes. So
Okay, thank
anybody
you so
else?
much, Prernaji.
Most welcome. Yes.
All right.
Anybody else?
So
Or
yeah. So anyone else to Prernaji, any question?
Yeah,
I
I have a
just
question
saw
for
the.
Gauravji actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Please go ahead. I just saw the time, Gaurav, so I just wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
remind you of
I
that.
understand. So before we get into the question and answer and towards the wrap up, I have one quick thing to do for you. So you need to do this as a time for declaration. I know you are aspiring to be a successful scrum master or business analyst. However, I believe or assume that most of you are able to understand the business or analyze the business. So be ready to declare. Are you ready for declaration? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So bring your palm on your heart, close your eyes, and just tell this with me that I understand every single business in and out. Just repeat this with me. Closing your eyes. I think, yeah. So once again, with the count of 3, I want you to keep your palm on your heart, close your eyes, and repeat this with me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. I analyze every single business in and out. Just
I
Analyze every single business in and out.
I
to-
analyze every single business in and
twice and loud. I analyze
I
every
analyze
single
analyze
business
every
in
single
and
business
out.
in and out.
I analyze
I analyze
I
every
analyze
single
every business
business in
single
and
in and
out.
out.
And turn to camera and give a high five stating that I am a successful business analyst. I am a successful
am a
business
successful
analyst.
business analyst.
Awesome,
Successful
awesome,
Successful
awesome.
business analyst.
Superb,
I'm
superb.
successful business
And
analyst.
you are, yes, you are. So coming back to the question, but here are a few tips before that. Okay. So always remember as a product owner on product backlog management, you have to set the priority, keep the product backlog manageable, review the backlog periodically. And that's why the sprint planning comes in. Delete items if you will never do. If you are really decided that this is really out of scope, simply delete it. Keep items tidy. You're not ready for off the backlog. Do not add tasks unless you plan to do them in the sprint backlog. Always prioritize, stick to one product backlog. You don't have to do it all yourself, and review the timeline. And this how you can further keep the checklist. Not everything has to be done. Okay, not every single thing. Know what is on your product backlog, reorder the product backlog continuously. The product backlog should not be complete all the time. Focus on what and why. The more stronger your why is, the more easier your what and how is. Put it on the wall, in front of you. There is a more than customer or business value. Okay. And just give me a second. Prerna ji has to say something. Yes, Prerna ji, you have to say something. So the last point I just mentioning here, keep stakeholders updated. So yeah, back to Prerna ji. Prerna ji, you are saying something. Okay, this is the website she has added. You can copy this and do your stuff. Okay, she was talking about one example, right? One bank's example. So yeah, you can
I'm
take.
sorry, I was on mute and I was talking. I just want him to correlate what I was saying. So this particular page has a graph. You can just check. It looks simple, but then for that I had to do all this. So if tomorrow they have this scope thing in their mind, they might be able to correlate what I was saying. Yes. So over
Yeah.
to you, Gaurav. I think we're almost done.
Done.
Tell me.
So yeah, so we had a plan for product backlog management as well as about the cross functional and self-organizing team that we are going to bring it on the next day. But yeah, back to you guys. Question.
Right.
Those were the checklist. Back to you, Rahul, for your question.
Answered my question. That the items which do not need
Okay.
to be built, you can delete them.
Yes. Thank you so much. So any other question? If not, we have come to the end. So I would request you all guys go back and go through this part, this recorded part, because the last last 2 slides were the rapid growth. Means I quickly just run them through, but you need to just stop by every single point, understand them and consume them. Those are very super duper easy. You can easily understand them and digest them. So that's not a very big deal. But now the floor is for a minute open for question answer. 1 minute. So yeah, you can go ahead and ask any question if you have. Bobby. Yeah.
Yes, Gaurav. So we have been told by you that from Monday onwards we'll start talking about and we'll start learning about BA. So my question, so till today, I have a confusion when product owner is communicating with Scrum Master and Scrum Master is communicating. It is all about this. So correct me if I'm wrong. I am presuming in a small scale, on a bigger scale, it could be different, but on a smaller scale, product owner is a BA. Am I
No,
right?
no. Product owner is not a BA. Product owner does not has to be, well versed with every single analytical part of. He should not be knowing, but yeah, he could be a person who has evolved from business analyst towards the product owner. His header is towards owning the product as a whole. However, business analyst part is understanding the product as a whole. Okay, so
Okay.
he's owning the dev part, he's owning the quality part, he's owning the designing part, he's owning the code part. So he is a leader. He's leading entire team, entire class. But when he is dividing the work or workforce to a smaller team, he will take the responsibility of having one leader of every single team leg. That team, and every single leader will report to him, and he will collect all the data, and he will publish the data to entire stakeholder. So he has not to do the micromanagement. For micromanagement, the responsible team leads are there. Dev leads are there, QA leads are there, BA leads are there. DevOps leads are there. So he does not have to get into the every single item. Otherwise, his life will be really heck. His life will be really...
He's like the director of the movie.
Yeah,
he
you can
relies
say.
on cinematographer, songwriter.
Yeah, very well said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then just to add, if you don't mind, Gaurav, I would just
Yeah,
like to
please
add,
go ahead.
Something. So Bobby ji, very good question. But then do you feel the director directly becomes a director? He might have started from a spot boy or maybe assistant. Yes. So rightly what Gaurav ji has said, on my personal example, I started after MC as a plain developer, .NET developer. But over the period of time, because of the understanding, preferences, opportunities, I ended up on the managerial side of it. Okay. But IT.
Yeah.
So similar way, as a product owner, he might be a BA, he might be a developer, he might be an architect in earlier life or earlier professional experience, but now he's a product owner. And then trust me, all that background really helps him, because if he knows how to give the estimation, how much time is spent on what, the development time, the understanding part, the learning curve. So when he is up the level, he's like a director. He has seen everything. He knows.
He has gone through. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry
absolutely.
to interrupt
So
you.
this is
Yeah.
first to answer you. Yes.
Yeah. So cool.
That's it
So
from my
since
side.
we were talking to Bobby and Prerna ji, you can go ahead and asking for the one word and pass the ball.
Yes. So before asking for one word, I have a very simple request to all of you. As you know, Guru Schools is coming up with summer camps. Guru Schools is coming up with many other vocational trainings or interesting extracurricular stuff like tabla, dancing, Zumba, many things. And those all are free for us, for all Guru School members. So please do take advantage of it. Do like the videos. I know I always say keep watching the videos. This time I'm saying do like the videos and do share with your colleagues and friends, because some kids really would like to know how the Vedic maths work. I know only apart from watching TV and playing games, they can enjoy some time learning new skills and activities. And as parents, it would actually give you a breather too, as they're engaged in something. So I just wanted to say, please take advantage of our platform and our offerings. Those are very interesting. And yes, last but not the least, please watch this video again. So your product backlog management would be fixed in your brain and your mind. And then if you have any doubts, we are there for the next week.
So,
So
Prerna
my
ji, I have a question. Miss, is it
yes.
free for everyone? Miss, summer
It
camp?
is free. It is free for no. I'm not sure about the summer camp. For summer camps, yes. For kids, you will have to pay. But
Yeah,
other videos like Zumba and
yeah. So
tabla
those,
and other instruments, those are free for us. Yeah, all Guru School members are very much welcome to watch those videos, to be interactive in the sessions and everything.
yeah.
Yes.
And for let me tell you, for your child, I mean, if you have kids, I personally going to coach on, power of subconscious mind. Okay, generally I have this course designed for elders, but now I have customized especially for Guru Schools children, especially for children, how they can add up creativity, learn things faster, enhance their memory, and improve the concentration, and much more things. So it's all about, improving the power of,
Superb.
subconscious mind. So that I am
Superb.
bringing, that I am adding. So if you want to send your kids to me, I'm most ready to welcome. Okay, so remain excited for your kids enrollment. So on this note, yeah, Prerna ji, go ahead and, towards the wrap
And
up,
I would
ask it.
say interesting, and I will call Priya.
Yeah, it was very interesting and brilliant.
Thank you.
And,
Take somebody's name, please. Yeah.
call Deepti.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for teaching us, and I'm learning every day something new. I'm gonna call Bobby.
Thank you, Diti. Yes, thank you very much, Prerna, Gaurav. I'm really thankful, and yes, you guys are actually making me understand the subject, and I'm feeling very encouraged. Every day, I feel more confident.
Call out someone's
Superb.
name.
Rahul?
Yeah, thanks, Gaurav and Prerna ji. I think I would call it very introspective today.
Nice. Oh, great, great. Good utilization of words. Yes, yes. Superb. Take somebody's name, please.
I think it's me. Just feel like
Yes.
Priyanka? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. I think today's session was, very well put and explanatory. And also, I love the examples with you both give. Like, the context, it really makes, helps me to understand things in a better way coming from, a no IT background. So thank you
That's
both of
right.
you for doing that. Yeah.
Most
Uh,
welcome.
Gauravji?
Yeah, thank you. So this is a reminder. The name of the course is Brilliant Minds for Kids. Everything, your people, your kids will be charged up. So charge up is the word. Back to you, Prerna ji. You are done, I think. So we have come to the end. Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much.
So
Yeah.
happy weekend, guys. Enjoy, relax, but relive these moments by watching videos. And yes, it's just a understanding game, and we are here for you. No worries. Any doubts, any questions, please feel to reach out.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See
Most
you
welcome.
on Monday.
Bye-bye.
And
Thank you.
last
Bye.
message before we
Bye-bye.
disperse. The last message is this, that we are not ending on the Monday the Agile Scrum track, because we are yet to cover few things which we had planned. Okay.